Oh, we have Olivia. Good. What a great group. Thanks again for coming at this time of the day.
Thank you for organizing.
Great. So I'll start the screen share so that you all have this workbook as well in front of your eyes. And we will start our practical workshop about the self-presentation. Where is my yes, it's first of all, I present myself, Aliona Rizvanova, not only the editor of the Benvenuto magazine, I'm a personal brand mentor and business mentor, life coach, and I create successful, happy lifestyle strategies for my clients and colleagues and different people and also friends for more than 20 years in 3 languages. And I did have an life as the top manager in big IT companies, multinational companies. And I also was able to introduce all this experience and working with people. So the main thing which attracts me always is helping people reach their maximum potential and enjoy life. And lifestyle is not only about hobbies, it's about the style of your life. So everything is included. And today we want to do this practical workshop about the efficient self-presentation. I collected the years of information and all the methodology about the personal branding as well. We do a positioning and self-presentation, and I try to put it all together in this workshop so that you can create your efficient self-presentation and use it whenever you need it. So we start just already from a very, very short practice. Imagine that you are in front of new people, and some of us don't maybe know each other so well. So I'll put a timer on, and you can present yourself in 1 minute time. Are you ready? Are there some volunteers? Who wants to start? Ta-dam! Shall I ask?
I will start just to break the ice.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. My name is Eva Cattapan. I'm 56 years old. I'm Italian. I worked for many years for a business school. After I finished my university, I studied languages. And during my university and the first years of my job, I played basketball. I played basketball for many, many years. And that gave a big, big stamp on my life, because with the sport, I learned to play in a team and to work in a team. Then I worked for this business school for many years, moving around managers and entrepreneurs. Then for a long time, I dedicated myself to my family. I have 2 boys, and now they are grown up, and I started a new activity. It's over?
1 minute is over. Oh. Yes, okay, finish your new activity.
Okay, I just want to say that I started a new activity. Beach volley camp for American students in Rome. It's a startup, and I hope it's doing well.
It grows. Okay, thank you very much. Eva, you see how interesting it is that in 1 minute you want to to put together lots of things. And okay, we will later. And, we will work on it. Next. Volunteers. Olivia, you were presenting.
I know. I feel like everyone already knows,
workshop.
and I've repeated myself so many times.
Ah. Okay, repeat it, please. In
Oh,
1
okay,
minute,
okay.
a very short one.
Yeah, this 1 minute thing, that's the part. Okay, my name is Olivia Wong. I'm a Chinese American. I'm originally from California, and 8 years ago, I moved to Milan, Italy. I also did a full life career change. I used to be in, forms of internet, e-commerce, marketing, and now I'm an interior designer, and which is really where I feel aligned. I feel I've made so I've now kind of really come to myself. I also have another subject that I'm interested in, which is feng shui, and I think it really speaks to kind of who I am, both in terms of my passions and kind of my cultural and how it all comes together. So that's who I am right now.
Great. And you are perfectly in time.
Okay.
Okay. Next. Elisabetta, you want to present yourself in 1 minute? We don't hear you. Microphone.
Okay, sorry. No, I was telling that it's always the same story. So I don't want people to get bored about me. Always the same thing.
I just did it.
That's a very common thing. A very common,
No,
I would
maybe
say,
I
also
don't.
mistake.
I haven't met Eva before. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice
And
to meet you.
the
Okay,
other
so do it. 1 minute.
for Eva.
Do it for me.
Okay. Bum.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Elisabetta Pisa. I am a professional journalist, video maker, and social media manager with experience in both television journalism and print media. I am originally from Milan, but I have a Canadian twist, having lived in Toronto for almost 8 years, an experience that has greatly enriched me. Currently, I dedicate myself to helping writers, professionals, no-profit organizations tell their stories through visuals, images. I create videos for website and social media platforms, blending the principles of journalism with those of filmmaking. Thus, I bring to life a flow of visual narratives that allow my clients to promote and enhance their books, businesses, cause or activities. It's pretty much the same as a social media manager. I assist my clients in telling their stories by combining words, images, and music. So storytelling is my passion, and it sparks my creativity. To sum up,
Time.
done. I'm done.
I showed the phone, so I didn't
Too
say
long.
anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will work on it. Thank you.
Yes, and it's also interesting, how to shorten your self-presentation in a very small 1 minute, and sometimes 30 seconds, and sometimes elevator pitch, depending on the circumstances. Ralitza, do you want to tell us about you as well?
My name is Ralitza Ozunova. I'm from Bulgaria. I lived in Sofia before moving to Moscow. I'm a professional of public relations and marketing, and I worked in a 5-star hotel in Sofia for many years. I have to follow my husband moving to Moscow, where we lived year and a half, and then we moved to Milan. I have to quit working for the hotel, and I was not that happy with that. But moving here to Milan, I started to work as a volunteer for Benvenuto, and I'm happy to meet a lot of friends. And that's it for me in general. My hobby is running and hiking and reading books.
Perfect. Timer, pom. You summarized perfectly well.
I did
also
it.
the fine. Yes. Oh, fantastic.
The pace is important also in running. So I know how long is 1 minute. If you are a runner, you
absolutely. Yes, the feeling of time is also very, very important. That's right. Françoise, Jovina,
Yes.
Elaine, who's ready?
Okay,
Françoise. Okay.
I will never be ready, but I will do it. I am.
Okay, do it.
Françoise, as an artist, visual artist, I'm called Françoise Bertolini. I am Swiss, and I live abroad between the Middle East and London for many years. Finally, I settled down in Milano. At the moment, I do sculptures. I also at times do collage paintings. That's it.
And we have a studio also. Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
yes.
Great. Even 20 seconds before the time. Great.
Yes.
Jovina, Elaine.
Okay, Jovina. Hi, my
Jovina.
name is Jovina Di Giacomo. I'm Venezuelan and also Italian, moving to Milano about 2 years ago. Most of my professional career has been as a consultant working for Accenture for almost 30 years. I retired about 6 years ago, and basically I worked in the US and in some countries also in South America, like Brazil and Argentina. Regarding my family, my sister died very young, so her son and her daughter are like my own children. I'm moving to Milan because they are already settled here in Europe, so I like to be closer to them. I'm looking forward to, have a life here.
So you follow your family. You are with
My
the family.
family, yes. I don't know if I took so long.
No, it's a perfect. Okay. Elaine.
Okay. Hello, I'm Elaine. I'm a British documentary filmmaker. I've been living and working in the US, UK, and Italy. I love working in documentaries because the best stories are true. And I love to tell stories that break down boundaries and cross borders. And I'm getting ready for my next adventure as I'm moving to Sardinia. And I love to make marmalade. And in Sardinia, I will be able to grow a lot more citrus trees than I can in Milan. So that's me.
Perfect. You were preparing yourself before our meeting, I would say.
No, I rushed from work, as that's why I was late. I'm actually I had a hell of a day. This is great to come here.
Good. And the interesting thing is that you've first understood that 1 minute can be a lot, 1 minute can be very, very, very short for you. And listening to other people, you notice that some things resonate. You remember something about the person that already talked before you. And it's also very interesting. What was that impressed you? And what usually impresses you, right? For some people, where are we? It can be the personality, the energy, the color, the way the person presents. So maybe you don't remember what the person was saying, but you remember the energy and said, ah, this is the person. You can say something about this person. Some of the person you can remember the professionalism, like, you know, journalism or PR marketing, with the facts, years, or something that impressed you. For some people, it can be their big why, their vision, why they do what they do. Like, I love helping people realize all their potential, or Jovina follows the family and feels like these are the people important. So you remember some of the also curious facts, like living in a specific country. I remember, for example, Ralitsa was saying about Moscow, and that's suddenly sounds very, very familiar to me. So I remember that as well. So for some people, it's more about what's in it for me. Like, you listen to the person and you see, for example, yeah, interior design is something that is really interesting, and I will be following that person because this is one of the interests, and I understand that I can also know more about what you're doing, or the film making or video making. So you notice that something remains inside your memory about this person. And what they say, the personal brand in a couple of words, is that what they say about you when you are not in the room. So what each person, each of us remembered about each presentation, and everyone remembers something different maybe. So is that if you really want to manage what the impression would be, so you create the self-presentation the way that people will listen to what you want them to hear, and not some occasional things. So some important things to remember preparing for that self-presentation is also the context. If you are doing some business meeting or some business networking, you know that the context will be, I'm surrounded with these entrepreneurs, business people, maybe my future clients or partners, and I want something from them. So what's the context of that? What's my role is, I'm, for example, an entrepreneur and I want to sell something. Who are the people in front of me? If you're coming to a women network socializing and wants to find friends, so the scope is different. I am a lady that wants to make new friends, that wants to, I don't know, get to know a different city, or want to go to a new trip and want to find more people to go together. So the context is different, and you present yourself in a different way because you want a different result from that. So it's also very important, the result you want, where you find yourself, in which context, and why are you doing this self-presentation, or what do you want from it? It's important to think about it in advance. So creating the first very simple draft, like a formula, is very simple. I am, name, surname, and usually with a surname, not only the name, because it will be hello?
Alyona, one question.
Okay. Yes.
Sure. You're talking now, presenting ourselves in business or in personal life and personal relation with people. You're talking, if I'm looking for a job, or I'm in official places, or just common when you meet somebody?
It's, as I said before, depending on your purpose, your self-presentation can change. So the formula works for all different occasions that you need to keep in mind before preparing that or during the preparation. So it works in either professional or personal life, so it doesn't matter. Important is that you think about creating or changing the self-presentation depending on the circumstances.
Okay.
Did I answer the question? Okay.
Thank you.
So when we get to know each other, we know name, surname, usually you give it. Sometimes the surname is not necessary. Like, for example, in our country, it's also the second name is important in some of the circumstances in the business, for example, situations. But depending on the context, it's who you are from the point of view of the name. Oh, Nancy's coming. Your name and your role, also depending on the context, on the circumstances. You want to present yourself as a professional in a professional environment. Hi, Nancy. We started.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late, but my appointment finished late. I'm on the car.
Okay.
I'm in the car.
You can hear then the beginning if you want later. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Parvin, you didn't present yourself. You are right.
No.
The only person that did not do that is
No.
you.
It's fine. It's okay, love. It's okay.
Okay.
I would like to hear from you, if you don't mind, Parvin, really.
Who
just 1 minute. Elisabetta asked you.
Well, I was born and brought up in India and being Persian by parents. And when I worked 8 years in Iran during the American boom, during Persepolis, then arriving of Khomeini, my sister being married to an Italian, I first got transferred here. I went to America 6 weeks to see if I can immigrate because my boss, American boss, said if I needed a job, he would have given me in America because the company I work, it's an international telephone electronic company. But I preferred living in Italy, so I decided, and it's now 45 years I'm living here. I worked with Siemens, and I'm retired now. So, and I joined Benvenuto 3 years back. I did 1 year of board member. It was fun, but for me, it was too much engaging. So
I was going to ask you.
Member of Benvenuto. I'm really happy.
You're perfectly in time. Perfectly in time. I was going to ask you, why only 1 year? Do you want to continue? Do you want to volunteer for another year?
No, because I do too many things, so I get stressed. But it's really fun.
Okay.
If you can join, please join the board. It's really fun, you know.
Okay. Confirm. See, we've started, thank you very much, Parvin. We started doing a very short 1 minute presentation and then we went on. So can you also please present yourself in a 1 minute so that we all get to know you better? Nancy?
Who, me? Oh, my. Yes.
Yeah,
thank you. Yes. Hi. 1 minute. Okay.
Yeah.
Starting from now. Allora, I'm Nancy, a Peruvian, British, American. I live in Italy since 23. If I need to present myself professionally, I do coaching, counseling, training. I'm coming back from Torino from coaching. I coach people. Everybody asks me if I do life or business, and I do all of them because I don't like to separate. I like to help people feel better and be better. So that I have 2 daughters, and I am now in the phase of transition in my life because my younger daughter's gonna leave and my oldest daughter left. So I'm on my way. I'm on my moment of seeing what universe brings me, what opportunities. So I jump on the train and say, let's do it.
Perfectly in time. 1 minute. Jump on a train for new opportunities. That's an interesting how the self-presentation is finished with like more or less call to action because you're open to opportunities and they are coming. Okay, so we've talked shortly about the way that the self-presentation changes depending on this context you find yourself, depending on the people in front of you and your purpose from that, meeting these people and the scope as well, who you are in this kind of, in this moment. And there was a question from Parvin, is it about the business or personal? Depending on the context, you can change your self-presentation also to make it more efficient, because it's what people will record about you. So the simple structure is I am, who I am, my role, what I do, for whom I do that. For example, if this is the business situation, or with whom I want to how to say, I want to do something like find new opportunities, or travel, or enjoy life, or find new places. What results do you want? Like you, in your case, Nancy was telling us about the her openness for the new opportunities, because she is in the new period of life. And you can also finish with the call to action. What do you want from people, not directly but indirectly also, like I'm open for new opportunities, or I invite you to join me for my new trip, or I offer you something, or I propose you something. So getting to know you, people can understand what they can do together with you. And if it's something interesting, then it will be already good occasion to involve people in what you are interested in. So I did not hear. Sure.
Can you give more examples about the call to action? Because it's really interesting, because it's not nice to be pushy with people, right? So it's and the call to the call to action. I understand that we need to use them, but I think they can be annoying for people listening to us. So if
you do it in a direct form, yes, I can give you a couple of examples. For example, if you're not, as I said, you're not like selling or pushing, you can invite people to do something, or to do something indirectly. For example, I'm Aliona, I like painting, and this summer I want to go to the mountains and do some plein air painting. So if you want to join me, write me in a private message and we'll keep in touch and we'll organize something. It is a very short.
Professionally.
Okay, professionally. Like, for example, finishing the self-presentation, saying that I'm creating happy lifestyle strategies for people for more than 20 years. If you want to know more about the cases or the stories of these people, you can come to my page and have a look. So I'm not selling everything. I'm just offering an opportunity to do something. It's action doesn't mean that you are selling something to this person. Or if you want to know more about that, call me, write me, come to my page. Something that is not pushy, that's offering what they can do.
May I say something?
Sure.
For me, as I understood it, it is like to create a link with the audience. It is like, you don't stand there alone and you just present, but you start to create a link that the other can take or not take. But you open the door, let's put it this way. And
perfect, yes. Mm-hmm.
For in action or not in action, it is for them to decide, but you open the door for them to have a link with you.
Mm-hmm. Like, for example, Elizabeth, perfect example. I liked it very much, Eva. For example, Elizabeth can say, you can see my films on the Benvenuto website page or Instagram page, because I did a video of the 55th anniversary of Benvenuto, or I did another several videos, or my programs are here. So if you're interested in my work, or you can ask me questions about everything about the journalism and video making. You don't need to sell anything in this case if you don't want, and people can accept or not. If you're offering, depending on the context, if you want to invite people to your new exhibition, for example, you'll say, and I have, I don't know, Françoise, I have an open day or an exhibition next month. The information you can find on my link, or it will be on the 9th of May, for example. Mm-hmm. It is also offering, depending on the context, you can continue if the context allows you to sell something, not in a pushy way or in a very direct way. And 1 hour with me costs, I don't know, 5,000 euros. So it's only for VIP people. In some occasions, in some situations, depending on the result you want, you can do it directly or indirectly. I like it very much about the opening the door, creating the link with the people. So yes, it gives an opportunity to do something next. Okay. Otherwise, they can say, okay, you're fantastic and you're great. You told me about all these things, but so you can hear in your workbooks or on your papers, listening to this already some ideas and questions, you can put down some ideas about your own self-presentation. And what, like a cherry on, sure.
Many people, sorry, I can't say the right word, bullshit about their presentation. I'm this and I'm that. That's not right. But can you use this trick to, especially if you're looking for work or you're doing something, can you say lies? I mean, it's, some people do use. Lots of people will say, I'm this and I'm that, and I did this and I'm that, you know. So does it work using all these tactics?
It depends. It depends on the purpose, on the audience, and it depends on the risks that you are ready to take, because this is everything you say. And if people remember, and if, for example, I don't know, if you go look for a work for new job and they come and control and check, it comes out. So it's your responsibility. It's your results. If some people do play these jokes, they pay the circumstances. So it depends. Coming back to the beginning, the result, the purpose, what do you want from that? So maybe even some of them are very successful and it never comes out, but I usually say that every lie comes out sooner or later. Yeah, me too. So another thing is that maybe some of the people putting on the first place some of the things that they want to be evident, and I'll show you a little bit later. But it's not about lying, but it's about the prioritizing what you put first, depending again on the result you want, on the context and on the people around you. We started saying that when you do a self-presentation, people will remember something about you. So another way is like an example in the advertisement. You can do something very, very nice, very interesting that will remain. And it's like a cherry on the cake. It's some facts, interesting facts that will be wow. For example, wow effects, some numbers, some measurable results, but not too much, not to exaggerate, because sometimes it can be good, or sometimes when they start doing a lot of like 30 years here, #1 there, #10 there, it overloads with information. It's not that tasty. It's not that impressive. So it does need to be too much. Another interesting thing that adds a color, I would say, adds a very interesting color and taste to the self-presentation is a metaphora, like metaphors. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly. That our brain works for images, with images. So when you do it through a metaphors, it remains in memory. I heard a presentation of a lady that was saying that what she does reminds of how to say fata, of a magician that opens up the glass where there is a small fish, and this fish can flow into the ocean. So she opens up the new life to people. It remains. So everyone can imagine each of you can imagine your purpose or your role, what you do, the results of your work in a kind of metaphor. It can be for some people that they open up the wings of other people and help them to fly. You can find your own metaphor. It can work very, very strongly to give an impression that you want to live with people. Sometimes a very short and very interesting and very impressive success story can give a wow effect and can connect, can give this connection with people that will say, yes, I want the same results. So that brings these people to you because they also understand your values and the results you give, and they feel they want the same. So it can be a very interesting success story, one or two if they're short ones, so that people connect themselves to this, associate themselves to this kind of story, which can be similar. There are also some quotes, some phrases, some proverbs that interpret what you do in a very short and very nice way. So it reminds people about you. It remains in their memory, and they will be saying, this is the one that does this kind of thing, that says everything is possible and even more. I adore this because it's really, for me, it's a motto I use. So you can also find your own phrase or metaphor, proverb that resonate with you, with what you're doing, with what you bring to people, or what you change in this world. Sometimes your hobbies, your interests work well, or some unusual and rare thing. I don't know, like running, biking, or painting and traveling, or maybe dancing. Parvin, what dance you dance?
Everything.
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 For example, one example I heard, which was a very interesting one, in the business networking, not in the official seminar room, but out of that room, people were in a mini group and they started presenting each other themselves. And one lady, she says, instead of all this, I am this and that, and mentor and trainer, etc., she said, I dance bachata. And everyone, wow, you dance bachata, how cool. So they started from a different view, and then they understood the character, they understood the values, the energy, they felt this connection, and then afterwards the formal part started, but already from the different degree of energy. So sometimes, depending on the context as well, of course, you can do it, you can use this trick to also do some ice breaking, because these hobby things, they They usually do this ice breaking. And also, a very strong thing is your mission, your vision. Why do you do things that you do? Like in the example of big companies, connecting people instead of doing smartphones or computers. What are the examples? Some of my clients, one of my clients said that my purpose is help people understand or be life in their daily life and professional in business. It's just from Russian to English, I'm translating it. And that's purpose of her life. And she transmits this to clients or partners. And she's doing a business training, like sales training, management training. In this training, she uses this value, her mission, because she really pays attention to that every person is different from another one, and you're not doing a formal work, but you're alive. And when you're alive, you do things you like, and then you make a difference. So all this can give you a hint of what you can use, what you prefer. It's not that you can or need to use all of those. It's those hints that will make this cherry on the cake, that will make it sound differently from everybody else. There is a basis, and there is this cherry that will be remembered. So maybe you already came up with some ideas for yourself. And you have this part in your workbook where you can write them down if you're printing this workbook, or you did already use your papers to write it down. In my example, I used also to say that when I was a very small child, I noticed that we have a watch in my mother's room, and this watch, a very small one, hand watch, and it didn't work. So when no one was at home, I opened it up. I don't remember how I did it, frankly speaking. I opened it up and I put out all those things, and then I put them all together. And now my clients were saying that when they come up and something does work, we take everything, the whole system, let's say, we put it all, we look at it, and then we assemble it again, and everything works perfectly, better than the Swiss watch. And I don't add anything new. It's all that they already have. So they already have all necessary resources. So this is one of the story that can, and as an example, can also show you from the metaphorical, and as well as my true childhood story, can tell a lot about what you do. So after all this said, you can have your hints, or you can have you have already your versions, and you are ready maybe to test your presentation, your self-presentation in a different way. Before that, I wanted to add some also visual representation of what I was saying before, depending on the context and depending on the purpose, how you can change your self-presentation, like rotating this magical thing. There are sometimes, not only sometimes, each one of you were saying, mentioning different parts of your or professional experience or roles or personal. So you are more than one thing. So there are here, for example, 6 lines, like 6 parts of this story. And it's not necessarily that you need to say everything about you. You can be a business trainer, you can be a consultant, an author of books, you can be a coach, you can be a painter, you can be a dancer, you can be an owner of a big enterprise. So there are different roles inside, and depending on the purpose, on the context, you can like change it, rotate this thing, and make one most important in the current circumstances more visible. I will give you an example in the abstract form about Alexander Pushkin, for example, so that at least the context is can be understood. So he's a greatest Russian poet. He's also a father of 4 kids. He is a graduate of Imperial Lyceum, the biggest one. He is also a social reformist. He has very strong political, had a very strong political view, and also was how to say, sent out of the city. See, he was also a life lover, a gambler, and he enjoyed life in different ways. Author of this the whole list of famous poems. So imagine that he comes to as a how to say, as a graduate to this lyceum after the, I don't know, 20 years. So the first thing he would say, I graduated from this lyceum from the first years when it was created, and I'm the most famous of the graduates. Being a Russian poet, started writing poetry when I was 15, etc., etc. When he comes to family brunch in a huge ballroom, let's say, with the different other families, he would say, I'm Alexander Pushkin, father of 4 kids. This is my beautiful wife, and I'm a Russian poet, etc., etc., etc. When he comes to see his friends, to do a nice evening or weekend somewhere with enjoying life, he would be the biggest life lover, womanizer, and gambler, etc., and a biggest Russian poet, etc., etc., etc. So depending on the context, you can see that you are able to rotate this thing and put forward the most important part of that, adding all the rest necessary, adding metaphors and all these cherries that we talked about. So it becomes a constructor with the main points that you want to keep, and depending on the circumstances and purposes, you use those few ones or everything, also depending on the time. If the time permits, you can tell lots of different parts of that. So at this point, there's also a practical part out of this room, today's room, that you can try and test and play in different contests and different versions, how to test your new self-presentation if you've created that. If some of you are ready to test on us something with a new formula, with the new ideas that you created, you can do that. If not, you have this list of different versions how you can test it in a practical way, because I don't want to keep you longer. So are you ready do you have some questions? Are you ready to do something? Have you added something to your self-presentation? Silence.
No, but I think it's a really nice, like, I feel like this will be very helpful. So I will go and do some homework, and yeah, I think it's a really good structure.
Thank you.
Aliona.
Great. Yes.
Yes, I have a question. Have you found any cultural differences? Like, for example, when somebody will be presenting themselves in a culture like Italy versus what you have seen before?
That's a great question. I didn't notice big differences or big difference. Being from the corporate world, let's say, working in the multinational companies, I've seen a lot of people that were like Americans, Europeans, presenting themselves very well. And I've seen also a lot of people that were very short in presenting themselves, they're very shy. Also in Italy, I've seen professionals that can be a very good presenter because they're naturally or very open and artistic and can talk. And I've seen a lot of very shy people. I worked with a couple of clients where we were saying that I have huge experience and I know how to say about that in 1 minute. And it's a very difficult thing to pack everything and do a very short but very interesting self-presentation. So I wouldn't say it is I did notice a lot of cultural difference. Did you?
No, sometimes I heard, but I'm not so sure about this. I also come from an international company, but I did most of my work in the US and Latin America. That in this culture, they like when you present yourself, it's good also to talk about your family or about, do you have a family or you don't have your kids or not? So I don't know if you heard that before.
That also depends on where and which people you meet. What's the context as well? Yeah. Because yes, in many situations, life, family, home, houses, hobbies can be a main topic, or food, for example, in Italy is a big topic, of course. In the professional context, not that much. I noticed that some people were telling me that also meeting different professionals, very few people can do a very short and very interesting self-presentation, present themselves professionally. Yes. That was a rare thing. Yes. Yeah. We did a practical, how to say, a practice. In my Instagram there is a recording of that diretta, of that how to say, live, where one of those things that I offered you to test your self-presentation to sound naturally is to try it in a different forms, like imagining being a different person. To taste it, to relax, to make it less serious, to make it less formal, just to try and say and feel how it feels. When you feel it, it's yours, that the words you feel are fine, that your body and your emotions are okay with that. That means you're flexible and you can do it in every occasion. And it does need to be formal. It does need to be how to say, remembered by from reading. It needs to be alive. You can imagine what you're talking about. You can feel it, and then people will feel it as well, because you see these images and you feel these emotions. Yes, it's number 5 that I was saying. Try your self-presentations in different roles. Play it like an actor to avoid a serious approach, like a businessman, or like a grandma, or like a teenager, like a country leader, or a rock star, etc., or an opera star, because it gives you really a flexibility and lots of fun. So you can also try it on us. Whenever you meet me, you can try self-presentation as well on each one of us as well, because you know already a context. So there's also in your workbook this algorithm which we went through in a couple of pages, what you do step by step if you want it, creating the basis and adding these cherries. And also some of the interesting things that I added so that you can finding your metaphors. You can also look in this some of these tasks, some of these things. If I'm a flower, which flower and why? If I'm a city, which city am I and why? Describing this, people hear your energy and your values, your character. I've heard a lot of this interesting stories that a person describing or a magical tool from the fairy tale. Why am this or not that tool? Because I bring people this and that, because I give this and that results. It describes yourself. But when you look at it from a different view, from a different point of view, when you're not thinking about yourself, but you're thinking about this magical object or about this city, you open up everything which is inside of you without blocking it. Oh, how can I talk about myself? I cannot do that. No. You talk about something different and you open up who you are truly. So it's also a very good trick that you can use, preparing a metaphor for your self-presentation. So everything I talked about, it's there in this workbook. So congratulations. And if somebody is ready to do a new self-presentation, you're welcome. If you want to work on it afterwards, I'm here. You know me, so you can come and do either audit of what you'd already have, or work on a self-presentation, or on your strategy. And I'll finish with this phrase that David Breer said: branding is the art of differentiation. If you don't give the market the story to talk about, they will define your story for you. So if you want really make people remember what you want to remember about you, create it and tell it in every occasion, with a call to action in a correct way as well, because it means opening the door for people to get to you. Great, thanks a lot. If you have any questions or feedback, I'm here. Thank you.
I would like to say something about the question that Jovina asked. From my point of view, based on the experience I have with the foreign entrepreneurs and managers, I did found a difference according to not the countries, but let's say the area where the people are coming from, how they present themselves and what they say. I think there are some, let's give it an example. For example, people from north of Europe or south of Europe, they have a different content in their presentation, what we talk today. I noticed that some people from the south tend to include also some personal stuff, some personal details, private, something about private or hobbies, families. People from the north tends to be more professional. You know, they stress more their professional life. But the not also in the content. I found a very different presentation, self-presentation, how they present themselves. So in the way they present, I don't want to fall into bias or stereotypes, but there is quite a difference, and your culture shows also in the way how you present yourself, through the way you present yourself. Today we talked a lot about the content, but I think also the way you present is also very important. How to use the voice, the tone, the pause, and I hope you do another seminar.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's possible, and it's very interesting. It's a different part because that's what I mentioned as a personality, as an energy. They also the visual part, the paraverbale, verbale, and non-verbal. Non-verbal plays a lot also in what will be remembered about you, because you can tell fantastic things, but then you're telling it like that and nobody understands, or you're telling it in a very shy way. Nobody understands. So it's a very, very important part of that. But it's a different also. It's another hour. So it's a whole world behind. So we started with a very, very short thing. So as a structure, and there's lots of meat on that as well, and cherries. So
thank you very much.
We are all here.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
we'll come
Ida.
back when you need it. And thank you for a great company this evening. I enjoyed it as well.
Thank you.
Thank you
you
very
so
much, Aliona.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. Have a
Bye.
great evening.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
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 Oh.